Got a proposition for you, mate. Could earn you a tidy share of treasure, or, better still, a place as first mate on my ship, soon as I've got one. Interested? I knew you were a savvy one when I saw you. Name's Small, not one you'll know. Yet. Got notoriety in my blood, you see. My family's been making a name on the Abetian for generations. I'm here to start carving out my place among the greats. One of my most famous ancestors vanished in Ghost Haven Bay, along with her whole ship, crew, and treasure. I aim to find her fortune. Once I've got my family treasure, then you'll get your share of the bounty, first mate or no. We have an agreement? Finding the loot might not be as easy as it sounds. A lot of ships vanished here besides my ancestors, and Ghost Haven Bay is supposed to be haunted, if that weren't obvious from the name. Let's start by searching for signs she was really here. Just stories, really. Used to be a perfect, secluded place to weigh anchor before some terrible catastrophe made it impassable by sea, trapping countless ships. Heard a dozen tales claiming to tell how, but I only put stock in what my family says. They claim my ancestors sailed with one of the biggest fleets of freebooters in the Abetian. My family thinks they came here to divide the loot after a really big raid and turned on each other. It was a battle so big it closed off the bay. My ancestor was real enough, and if her treasure's here, it might be my means to a ship of my own. I don't know about you, but I won't be finding my fortune working as a deckhand the rest of my life. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Stowed away on one of the galleys that comes through Amenos station to pick up what the prisoners bring in. I just grabbed a sack and started unloading as soon as we entered port. When I walked off into the wilderness, nobody made to stop me. I didn't think that far ahead. The way I see it, if I find my ancestors' treasure, I can probably bribe my way out. And if I don't, I've got bigger troubles. I'll sink that schooner when it comes around. Hey, that's my family crest on the cover. That's promising. I wish more of it were legible.
was it, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell.
The crest on the pommel matches my necklace. This belonged to my ancestor for sure. This is it. This is really it. The place where my ancestor's legend came to an end. Feels a little strange to be picking over her leftovers like some harpy, but it's not like I'm just some scavenger. I'm family. This is, an inheritance. Yeah. There's supposed to be a cavern farther down the bay, big enough to harbor ships. That's probably where the freebooters were dividing their loot and stashing their treasure. Whatever calamity befell their fleet probably occurred there, too.
Something new. One of my favorite things about riding with you.
Well, what's left of one must be getting close, right?
You have what's mine! Leave what little I have, or lose your lives! Wait. That crest is mine, but the necklace is not. Who are you?
I'm Eos Maul. Your great-great-great-great-grand something.
I never expected to speak with the living again, let alone one of my own flesh and blood. How many generations removed, I wonder? How long have I been trapped in this watery grave? Centuries, I'm sure, but there's no sense of time down here. I'm a cursed soul, as are all who linger here. The Commodore of our fleet made a fool's bargain in a moment of desperation, and damned us all to an eternity of restless undeath. A pox on his rotten bones. We were cornered by a pursuing enemy, outnumbered 20 to 1, doomed to die by the sword or the gallows. The Commodore performed some vile ritual of the deep druids to turn the tide in our favor. It did, in a way. When our pursuers cut us down, we rose up from the sea again and again. We couldn't be beaten, so we were buried. Bound here by that fool's pact until our bodies rotted and moldered away. Please, you have to end it. Free us from this. The Commodore's ship should bear some clues about the magic that binds us. It's, somewhere in the cavern, but, my memory isn't all there. There were captains among our fleet who partook in the Deep Druid's ritual. Their ship logs might reveal more. Aye. Bugbears and bogies often whispered of by sailors around the Sisters. Folk said to worship and commune with the unknowable things that call the vast, lightless abyss beneath the waves home. A myth even in my time, but they were real. They left things behind. Things bought and sold as curios. Or dabbled with by fools like the Commodore, who damned us all to this damp tomb. Their idols and objects of worship were plentiful around Sea Haven Bay, before we claimed it for ourselves. Only they could say for certain, but I'd wager so. One might find an oddity or two washed up on the shores in their lifetime that may have belonged to the Deep Druids. Sea Haven Bay was festooned with them, before we plundered it. If it's treasure that brought you here, I have my share to give. But I paid dearly for it, as you can see. So I won't part with it so easily. Break this curse on my soul, and you'll get your due.
All we've got to do is break a curse that's hundreds of years old. Then I'll get my fortune. It'll all be worth it.
There's lingering doubt about this book. Regrets are a lost soul's anchor.
I said, take the idols. Place them how I showed you. Do as I command, and we may yet escape this with our lives.
Yes, sir.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Still hear that mad bastard's words hanging in the air.
We have nothing to fear now. So long as the tome and the idols are safe, the sea will never let death take us for long. Pledge yourselves to the deep, and we will rule the seas forevermore.
can feel the dread clinging to this one.
The Commodore keeps those old idols as good luck charms. But you have to wonder whose favor he's attracting.
Aye, and he claims that crusty old tome keeps the secrets of the seas. Why aren't we all bending knee to druids then?
All those old books make mention of the Commodore's fascination with deep druid idols in an old tome. Between that and what my ancestors showed us, I wager they're all the key to this curse. I think so. The Commodore said so long as they're protected, his fleet will never die. You go and destroy the idols. I'll convince my ancestor to share what she knows, and we'll meet you at the old tome to break the curse.
Lapping against these cursed rocks. But I'll never reach them.
stand against us. Poor thing. You don't want to do this!
So much to live for, but not like this. I barely remember the sight of the sea.
Over here! It's the Druid's tome!
The lashings that hold me here loosening.
The curse must be breaking!
You finally dredged this poor soul up from the abyss. For that, I'll be forever grateful. You and my heir have earned more fortune than I have to give. RK only knows, but my weary soul feels freer already. I just hope to look upon the open sea one last time before he sweeps me away. ES knows where I kept what I claimed for my own. If he wavers giving you a fair share, just tell him I'll haunt him until the debt is paid.
The late Captain Malfairre's looking a lot better. For a ghost. Whatever you did must have broken the curse. Cross your heart 10 times and seek a temple, lest you find a druid curse on you as well. You feel that rumbling? I wager this old cavern didn't care for that rotten magic either.
Free at last. As a sailor should be. I'd love to look on the sea one last time. Never tie down your sails, ES. Life's too short.
I'll live full sail for the both of us, Captain. Cavern broke up into the bay again. Let's get out of here. Look, ship. Hope they find peace where they're going. Well, that didn't go to plan exactly, but it was an adventure nonetheless. Venison showed me to her treasure. It's not the wealth of bounty I was hoping, but I might just secure a loan for a ship when all's said and done. My dream of being the next great Captain Maul is close. Here's your cut. You more than earned it. I wouldn't have been able to save my ancestor's soul on my own. And even if we found her treasure first, nothing good comes from cursed treasure. That first mate position is still open, by the way. Plenty of other treasures tucked away in that cavern, I suppose. Even without the ghosts, that sounds like more trouble than it's worth. I've got a good tale for the next Maul family reunion in any case.